It's completely normal to be unsure between the Redmi Pad SE and the Redmi Pad 2. But don't worry, because you've landed on the perfect video to help you choose the right one for you in less than 10 minutes. Let's get started. Before we dive into the specs, I want to quickly explain the ideal use cases for each tablet, and then we'll break down exactly why, point by point. Generally speaking, the Redmi Pad SE is designed for more basic use. Things like browsing the internet, scrolling through social media, making video calls, or watching content like movies and TV shows. Because of that, it's a great option for people who want a balanced tablet with enough power for light multitasking and everyday entertainment. On the other hand, the Redmi Pad 2 can do everything the SE does, but with noticeably better performance. That means sharper and more vibrant content when watching videos, smoother multitasking, and the ability to casually play lighter games without issues. It also adds a few extra features, like optional 4G mobile connectivity and more storage options. So it's a better fit for people who want a tablet with stronger overall performance and a bit more versatility. Now, let's talk about the display. Both tablets share some important screen features. They both come with an 11-inch LCD panel and a 90 Hz refresh rate, which already gives you a smooth viewing experience when scrolling or watching videos. However, the Pad 2 has higher resolution and higher brightness. In real-world use, that means when you're watching Netflix or YouTube, the image will look a bit sharper and the colors will appear more vibrant. As for the design, both tablets are built with good quality materials and feel solid overall. The only real difference is the weight. The SE is about 30 grams lighter. So to summarize this part, if display quality matters to you, the Pad 2 is definitely the better pick. The only reason I'd recommend choosing the SE instead is if you plan to use the tablet only occasionally. Now let's move on to performance. And here I'm going to be very straightforward. The Redmi Pad 2 is slightly more powerful than the SE, so if you're someone who tends to open a lot of browser tabs, run multiple apps at the same time, or simply leave apps open in the background, I would definitely recommend going with the Pad 2. I'd only suggest the SE if you're planning to use the tablet more occasionally. Another thing you should know is that the Pad 2 comes in two different versions, and the performance will vary depending on which one you choose. You have 4 GB of RAM with 128 GB of storage, or 8 GB of RAM with 256 GB of storage. Choosing between these two is actually pretty simple. If smooth performance is important to you, or if you plan to install quite a few apps, and you can afford to spend about $40 more, my recommendation is to go with the 8 GB RAM and 256 GB storage version of the Pad 2. More RAM and more storage mean the tablet will stay responsive for longer and handle updates and apps more comfortably in the future. I would only recommend the 4 GB and 128 GB version if you really want to save those extra $40, and you're the kind of person who regularly closes browser tabs and apps after using them. Next, let's talk about battery life. The Pad 2 is slightly better here, mainly because it has a 9,000 mAh battery and supports fast charging, while the SE has an 8,000 mAh battery with basic charging speeds. Both tablets can easily last through a full day of moderate use, but where you'll really notice the difference is when charging the device, since the Pad 2 will recharge noticeably faster. Because of that, my recommendation is again to go with the Pad 2 unless you're planning to use the tablet only occasionally. As we mentioned earlier, both tablets are available with 128 GB or 256 GB of internal storage. But there's another detail you should know. The Redmi Pad SE supports micro SD expansion up to 1 TB, while the Pad 2 supports expansion up to 2 TB. So if you plan to install a lot of apps or store files like photos, videos, or music, that's yet another reason why the Pad 2 is the better option. I'd only choose the SE if you already know you won't be installing many apps. Now let's move on to connectivity. Both tablets allow you to connect to the internet via Wi-Fi and connect to other devices using Bluetooth. However, the Pad 2 supports faster speeds for both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which makes things like file transfers and downloads a bit quicker. So again, my recommendation would be the Pad 2. The only situation where I'd consider the SE instead is if you don't plan to use the tablet frequently for downloading large files. But if you want to use your tablet with mobile data using 4G, then you must choose the Pad 2, because the SE doesn't support 4G in any of its versions. If that feature matters to you, make sure to check the specifications carefully before buying, because not every version of the Pad 2 includes 4G. Some models are Wi-Fi only, while others include Wi-Fi plus 4G connectivity. To make things easier, I've left links in the description to both versions so you can quickly find the one you want without confusion. Now, let's briefly talk about accessories. Both tablets are compatible with Bluetooth keyboards and basic digital styluses, which can be useful for things like taking notes or light productivity tasks. However, neither of these tablets is really designed for professional drawing or illustration. If that's what you're looking for, you would need a higher-end tablet, such as the XIAOMI Pad 7, combined with a more advanced stylus, like the MyFocus pen. When it comes to cameras, it's basically a tie. Both the SE and the Pad 2 come with an 8-megapixel rear camera and a 5-megapixel front camera. So overall, we're talking about cameras that are basic but perfectly adequate for things like video calls, quick photos, or recording an occasional video. If you can afford it, I would strongly recommend going with the Pad 2, and the main reason is software support. Right now, the Redmi Pad SE runs Android 13, and it will only receive official software updates until August 24th, 2026. Meanwhile, the Redmi Pad 2 runs a much newer version, Android 15, and it's scheduled to receive updates until June 15th, 2032. It means the Pad 2 will remain compatible with new apps, security updates for many more years. If you'd like to know which official Xiaomi page I use to verify this information, feel free to ask in the comments. And now, I'm curious, which tablet would you choose? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video or it helped you decide which tablet is right for you, you can support the channel by leaving a like, subscribing, or using the links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.